I want to share with you a lecture that I heard today from Rabbi Yosef Mugrabi. If anyone ever gets a chance to listen to him, it's in Hebrew. It's very, very critical. It's very important. I just want to show you that he hit he hit a home run in explaining to us, Rabotai, what it means to learn Torah, what it means not to miss class, what it means to break your head over something that you don't understand. It happens a lot of times when you learn Gemara, you have one word of the line or something, you can't understand it, and you want to move forward. You just want to move forward, just let's go. Rabotai, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of understanding what you're learning. It was Hashgacha Pratis, how everything happened. Those that understand, Rabotai. So basically it goes about Kocha Ratzon, Rabotai, the will of a person, the strength of a will of a person, and also the Kocha Torah, Rabotai. When a person gives it all he got, he gets a lot of, I don't want to say Ruach HaKodesh, but he gets a lot of divine assistance, mamash from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So he says like this, Rabotai, he says, Kama Adam Yachol Lehanot Mikol Rega Shel Limud Torah, Rabotai. He begins the lecture of saying, Rabotai, when a person learns Torah, how many pleasures, how pleasureful it is for every second of learning Torah you get. When you're learning, every single second you're feeling the sweetness of Torah, you get pleasure, Rabotai. And he said, and he brought down a story of one big Talmud Chacham. At that time, he was 20 years old and he was a Maggid Shir. You guys know what's a Maggid Shir? One who gives over Shi'urim to Balabatim. He had about 10 or 15 Balabatim. One day they sent a messenger. He used to teach them 4 lines of Gemara. After that, he would teach halachot on top of that. 40 minutes, the next 40 minutes. And also say 1 or 2 stories in order to lighten up the crowd. One day, Rabotai, after many years, Rabotai, one day the Maggid Shir became sick. The rabbi became sick, so he sent a messenger. He said, tell these 10, 15 guys to come to my house because I cannot go there. I cannot go there, Rabotai. So what happened? So all of them went to his house. Rabotai, when they came into his house, he was on his bed. It was winter months. Not like today, we have all heaters and everything. It was cold in the house. He had, who knows what he was covered with. And when they came to learn with him, Rabotai, he was like this. Abaya, because he was so cold, he was shivering. He was trying to give the lecture and he couldn't give the lecture. 3 times he had to interrupt his class. In the middle of the class, he started crying because he's not able to give over the class. So the student said, I don't understand. Kvod Rav, you're not feeling well. We could stop right over here. He said, Rabotai, 1 day of missing learning Torah is like death, Rabotai. Not to learn Torah 1 day is like dying, Chas v'shalom. Just put it to you like this. A person has, right? The doctor Lolain tells a person, he's already 100, whatever, 19, let's go, high numbers. The doctor says you're going in 10 days. First you're going in 11 days, Rabotai. A person would want another day. A person would want another second just to be alive in this world. Nobody wants to go before their time, Rabotai. When a person doesn't learn Torah, Rabotai, it's like you chas v'shalom, you are committing suicide to your neshama. Because your neshama has no spiritual food now. So Rabotai, they said, so that after that, all this was done and said, a whole night this went. By that time he was able to give him over the shiur. They thought it was Bittul Torah. Rabotai, what do you say on this kind of Maggid Shir? Is he normal or not? What do you think? Is he normal or not? To go bring 50 people, to stop in the middle 3 times, to cry that you cannot learn. Not every day a person has the opportunity to learn. Rabotai, you guys are ready? Who was this Maggid Shir at the age of 20? Chacham Ovadia Yosef. I was shocked when I heard it today. Chacham Ovadia Yosef, Rabotai. Now let me tell you something. Let's rewind back from what we know today. Chacham Ovadia, 20 years back. Rabotai, a person like that, Rabbi Yosef Rabbi says, Mamash, I hope I do justification when I quote him. Rabotai, a person like that at 20 years old, that is going to die to teach Torah, that is going to die to learn Torah. Rabotai, you know he's going to become a Gadol Dor. You know he's going to become a Rav one day. You know he's going to become somebody one day, Rabotai. Why? Because to miss a day of learning, it's not, okay, I miss, I come, I don't come. No, Rabotai, is death. It's like Chas v'shalom, give a person, had to have those electric chairs. Another day for the guy to live is going to be something big. Rabotai, when a person, he's going to be moist in nefesh every single day to make it to class. No matter what, Rabotai, I understand sometimes you have bar mitzvahs, weddings, but mitzvahs, fine, Rabotai. But that does not mean, Rabotai, but that does not mean that you're chas v'shalom exempt, Rabotai. We don't chap. We think this is important, Rabotai. There's nothing more important than learning Torah. We have no idea, believe it, I'm going to try to do one time, sure, what the Zohar Kodesh says, what it means every second that you learn Torah, what you accomplish. When only you know, Rabotai. I'll tell you really quick. I went to, I think it was Bernard and Co., the company. I was trying to become whatever, financial advisor for stocks after St. John's. So I went to the company, I tried to get into the company. He had about 3 or 4, like 5 big screen, old computers, Rabotai. All you saw him was like this. I'm sitting right over here, to the side. And he's looking at all the stocks. He's like, his mind, Rabotai, the guy's over maybe 95 years old. 95 years old. So I'm speaking to him, I said, why can't you look to me and speak to me for 1 second? Why do you always have to be paying attention on the stocks? He said to me, listen to me, son. Listen to me very carefully. If I take my eyes off for 1 second from the computer, millions of dollars that are invested are going to get lost. I can't take that chance, Rabotai. This is what happens in Torah. When we close our eye for 1 second, that's what Chazal tell us. You're going to forget your Torah. It's not I don't want, Rabotai. A person has to give it all. When it comes to the shurim, not to miss just like that. If Chas Hashem person has to miss, he has to make sure he's going to make it up. But we see from Chacham Avaidi, even when he was sick, Rabotai. Nevertheless, he taught. And from that young age, you already see where he's going to become. You see certain boys, you see today, certain children, when they push. We call them the go-getters. You know that these people, they're going to grow. Why? Because they're always pushing. Now, this is one story that he brought down. Another story that Rabbi Yosef McGrabi brought down. Now, this one was really mind-boggling and something very nice, because those people that do Daf Yomi, I don't know how they do Daf Yomi, they do it with Rashi or they do it with the Magid Shir. Doesn't matter. But Rabotai, this story is very important. Rabbi Yosef said that this story is 100% true, and this story was said by Rabbi Silverstone Shlita in Israel. There was once a guy who was a balabait. You know what a balabait? A person who works. So now he came and he was doing always Daf Yomi with the Magid Shir every single day. Every single day he would come, he would do the Daf Yomi. One day he couldn't make it. But you know what he said? He said, I can't miss a Daf. Because you have to understand, you miss one Daf today, tomorrow's 2 daf. You miss tomorrow's 3 dafs. They only pack up. They don't stop. So what happens? So he says, no, something, I can't do this. I have to do the daf myself. The guy doesn't know how to learn. He knows here and there, but he doesn't know how to learn. He started doing the Gemara. He got to a certain Rashi. 15 minutes into learning, he got into a Rashi he couldn't understand. He couldn't understand the Pshat in Rashi. And now he's thinking, what does this mean? I can't understand. And now he starts thinking and he fell asleep. He got up again and he tried to break his head. He wanted to understand Pshat and Rashi. He didn't. He's like, what's the Pshat of it? He's like, he couldn't. To such an extent where he started crying. How come I can't understand this Rashi? How come I can't move without the Magid Shur? Guys, I'll put it to you like this. Eventually, the 3rd time he fell asleep. When he fell asleep, and somebody came to his dream, white beard, a rabbi. He said to him, I want to learn this Rashi with you. Come, I want to learn this Rashi with you. He started learning this Rashi with him. And he told him the Pshat like this, and this is the answer to your Gemara, X, Y, and Z. After the whole thing was done, in the morning he wakes up, he goes, says this to Rabbi Silverstone Shlita. He tells him, I had this guy come, this and that. He says, but tell me, did you even ask him in your dream who this guy was? He says, I don't know, Shlomo ben Adert. I don't know who, Shlomo ben Adert. He said, Shlomo ben Adert? When is Shlomo ben Adert? That's the Rashba, Rabbi Shlomo ben Adert, that's the Rashba. He said, he came to your dream. They took out a Rashba. Guys, this guy didn't know how to learn Rashi. He didn't even know how to even look up a Rashba. So it's not something that was a made-up story. It wasn't his dream. It was Rabbi Shlomo ben Adert the Rashba came to his dream. He told the Pshat, he said, go look over here, look over there, Rabotai. They found the book. Word for word, whatever the guy said, that was written in the Rashba. This Balabait would have never ever came up with that idea. Never. So they went and they said the story to who? To Rabbi Yosef Yashuv. They said to Rabbi Yosef Yashuv, do you believe that this guy was trying to break his head to understand Pshat and the Rashi? Not just to go forward. And Rabbi Shlomo ben Adert came to his dreams and he helped him. You know Rabbi Yosef Yashuv, that's how answered? He said, that's not a Chiddush. That's not a Chiddush. That's nothing new by me. He says, what do you mean? But Rabbi Shlomo ben Adert. He said, I'll put it to you like this. Whenever a person has a ratzon, whenever he has a desire to understand, Hashem will send you all the malachei sharet, all the angels. If he has to, he's going to send you Rashi, Tosfot, just to be able to explain to you the Pshat. But Hashem says, just show me that you want. Don't just come in and Chas Hashem do like daily newspaper, whatever they have to say, New York Post, whatever, New York Times, whatever they have. Learn the Torah the way it's supposed to be learned, Rabotai. When you do like this, you have no idea the siyata, the shemaya that you're going to have. Baruch Adonai Olam. Amen.